Welcome back to the Beer Sherpa, everyone. My name is Danimal. We are back at it again after about a week. Life kind of gets in the way when you're working 6-7 days a week. Outside of working at the brewery, I am also a teacher, so life is pretty crazy. So today we're going to be talking about another beer that is going to be great for the fall and holiday season. And that would be none other than our Schnitz und Giggles, which is a German-style Marzen. This is going to be the maltiest beer that we have talked about so far. We've talked about one other lager, which was Helles, which is a Helles lager. We've talked about 3 different IPAs, 1 double IPA, as well as 1 Belgian. But as I said, this is a Marzen, so it's going to be darker, it's going to be maltier, it's going to be sweeter. But before we dive into the breakdown of Schnitz and Giggles, I'd like to take a little bit of time to kind of talk about what a Marzen is itself before we dive into what Matt and Dylan have done with this particular batch of Schnitz and Giggles. So, a Marzen. Marzens are German strong amber lagers. These are beers that tend to be crisp and smooth. But you're also going to get some bready aromas. You're going to get some lovely hints of spice. You're going to get some hoppiness, but it's going to have that malt character. It's going to have some caramel and some sweetness in there. But behind all of that, to round it out, it's going to be a little bit of a dry finish. Marzen itself means March beer. And if you don't know, originally these beers were brewed in March and they lagered all summer, and then they were finally tapped in the fall, making it an Oktoberfest beer, which is what we utilize Schnitz and Giggles for. Marzens tend to have a higher gravity, meaning a higher alcohol content, and in turn also have a longer shelf life, which means that it can last for quite a few months after it's been lagered properly as well as stored properly. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start taking a closer look at Schnitz und Giggles and see what this beer has to offer. All right, so here is our pour of our Schnitz und Giggles. Head retention was okay. It is coming from a can and not off the tap, so there is going to be a little bit of a difference. I decided to serve it in the good old beer stein, which, it fits. What we get is a nice golden amber color, which is beautiful. Not quite as dark as I've seen this beer before, but pretty typical of a Marzen. Off of the nose, I'm getting some breadiness as kind of expected as something like a Marzen. You can kind of also pick up on some of the maltiness, maybe a little bit of caramel, but we're more than likely going to get that a lot more in the taste itself. So let's talk grain build, as we always do. The grains in this particular beer utilize a lot of malt. Well, it is a lager, so you're kind of expecting that, especially from something as a German amber strong lager. So this particular beer, of course, utilizes German malts. We're using quite a few, so Pilsen, as well as Vienna. The Pilsen malt is going to add some mild, malty, sweet flavors to it. Might even get some notes of honey. Whereas the Vienna, it's going to improve the mouthfeel of the beer as well as kind of enhance the full bodiness of it. Behind that, Carapils malt. It's there to basically improve the head retention in general. And we also used Carafon malt, which is a drum roasted 2-row German malt. This is going to add those caramel notes that I was talking about. And this also helps to improve that head retention and to also improve that body of the beer itself. We also add in a little bit of acidulated malt in order to throw in a little bit of that lactic acid that we talked about with Hard Day. But that sourness is kind of buried beneath the malt, and it works quite well. All right, so hops. This time through, we're using the Hallertau hop, once again, the Hallertau Blanc. This particular hop is going to give us those fruity wine-like qualities that we've talked about before. You might get some gooseberry and some grass notes on it. This hop, though, is there for a reason, and it's traditional. And those fruity notes blend really well with the malts as well as the yeast that we utilize in this particular beer. Those fruity notes are going to be subtle, but they are going to come out in the aromas as well as even slightly on the taste. Last but not least, we have the German lager yeast. Again, we're going pretty traditional when it comes to Marzens. Marzens do tend to use this German lager yeast. It works really well at a low temperature, and it brings out some nice mild fruity and floral notes that, again, blend really, really well with the hops and the German malts that we utilize in this beer. But that yeast is also going to bring in a nice maltiness. It's going to it's going to bring about a clean and crisp finish to this beer, which, again, this is what you want for this particular style. All right, so we are going to dive in and we are going to have our little drink here. And pick up on a lot of the notes that I kind of said a little bit earlier. So we should be picking up on the toastiness. We should be picking up on the malt, the caramel, the sweetness, maybe a touch of honey in there. And that dry finish that I was kind of talking about should be kind of right there, buried in the back after everything. So here we go. Cheers. Yep, that's exactly what I said. It's all there. The breadiness kind of comes in towards the middle. You get the sweetness of the malt and the caramel in the front. That dry finish is just so nice. I've said it again. I said it a couple of videos ago. When it comes to a beer, I like a good dry finish because it kind of begs you to kind of come back to it. So again, it's begging me to come back to it. Definitely a fall drinker. So yeah, good beer. Well, there you have it. Another beer down. Our Schnitz and Giggles is no laughing matter. With its big malty profile, the caramel notes that are utilized and some of those toasty bready notes, combined with the hop as well as the German lager yeast, this beer is an absolute great addition to our fall and winter lineup at the brewery. This beer is available on tap right now, as well as in 4-packs if you do stop by the brewery, and I hope you guys do soon. And if you guys are catching this before Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there. I hope you guys like and subscribe. Tune in next time. We're going to have another holiday beer coming at you. All right. Until then, cheers.